Hey everybody, welcome in. It is our Week 4 recap and Week 5 preview, Major League Rugby West Des Moines Wombats Pick'em Challenge. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ryan Gray, and we have all the other guys on here, Marcus, Phil, Nico, Justin, Dee, and our special guest, Meghan Flanigan from the University of Northern Iowa, and the president of the Iowa Rugby Union, and a bunch of other stuff that we're going to talk about. Long list of things, but welcome in, everybody. How we doing?
Great.
Feeling good.
Yep.
Good.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to jump in here to our Pick'em Challenge, which is sponsored by District 36 Wine Bar and Restaurant. They have their nightly social hour from 3 to 6, Monday through Saturday. They have $3 draws of Busch Light and other beers. They have $4 glass of house wine, $5 signature cocktails. They have their food specials with a $6 flatbread, and most importantly, those half-price appetizers. It is in a nice scenic little area in Ankeny. It's got the best patio / pond that you could ask for. It's not staring at a parking lot. It actually has a nice, what's the word? Ambiance, atmosphere. Anyone planning on going there anytime soon? Phil, were you
I'm
saying?
going Friday, tomorrow.
Nice.
Actually, you mean today. You're on your way there after this.
Today.
We time travel when we do these. So yeah, make sure you take some pictures and share with us how it is, and we'll let the people know that, yeah, that's the spot to take your significant other, have a good night, some drinks, some dinner, and enjoy. So Phil, I hope you have a great time. Let us know how it goes.
Will do.
While the rest of us are helping with high school rugby in Iowa. But hey, you do you, man.
Gotta treat yourself.
Exactly. Self-care. That's what everyone's saying. Self-care. And so yeah, welcome to our guest, Meghan Flanigan. Like I said, from the University of Northern Iowa, head coach, president of the Iowa Rugby Union. Welcome on. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. This is exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing that we're always excited about with this, at first we we're like, oh, we're just going to do this ourselves. And we realized there's so many great people in Iowa, like why just restrict it to our team? And then also we have a lot of great and influential women's rugby, not only players, coaches, but influencers as well. You look at, there was a list, I think last year, of up and coming leaders in women's rugby. And I think it was three college coaches, we had three on that list, and you were one of them. And so basically, first of all, how did you get started in rugby?
Super random. I had transferred to UNI from Buena Vista. I went and played softball originally my freshman year. Then transferred. I honestly one night was bored. I'd been planning to try out for the UNI softball team at open tryouts, and that year they canceled their tryouts because of financial reasons. And I played 4 sports in high school, so sitting on campus, was itching to be part of a team again. Googled what club sports are on campus. And at that time, there was only volleyball, soccer, and rugby. So it's like, I tried volleyball, played soccer since kindergarten. I'll give rugby a shot, and sent an email to Steve and went to my first practice, and the rest is history.
That's awesome. I feel like a lot of people, that was before, there was high school sevens, where a lot of people now are getting exposed that way. And so, to just show up on campus and your first experience was like, oh, I'll just try the club. And you've had such an impact on women's rugby and just rugby in general. How did you move from player into coach into administrator? What's that journey been like for you?
Ooh, it's definitely been a journey. So my college experience was awesome. The opportunities that I had, from Iowa Selects to the Midwest Thunderbird team, playing overseas, All-Americans, got to do all of that. And then after college, played up in Minneapolis with the Twin City Amazons. And so all the opportunities that I had really got me to fall in love with the game. And then when Steve Murrah passed away in 2016 is kind of the moment where I thought about moving back to coach just because of the impact that he had, and our program was just so successful. And he had his hand in all of those opportunities with Selects, Midwest, All-Americans and stuff like that. And when he went, all that went with him. And I hated knowing that these girls in college did not have the same opportunities that I had. So had some people just kind of point me in the direction back to UNI, decided to take it. It's been a rough journey, but I've been very fortunate to have like colleagues in my same generation go through these opportunities as well, who are stepping in, and we're just kind of band together to fight for the programs that we once had, and then to bring more programs, anything that we can do to help grow the game, just to provide these opportunities for these women. So yeah, started coaching and then became vice president randomly, the union. And then, yeah, working with Midwest, becoming a manager and coach with that team, and just continue to climb the ladder. President now.
Yeah, congratulations with that. That just happened recently, and you've done so much to help this Wombats team. I know as we've been trying to get started, we probably blow up your phone all the time about making sure we're doing everything we can the right way and make sure we're making those things happen. So we appreciate that. We're glad you're there, because that's really helped us along the way. But yeah, Steve was so influential, and to let people know, the UNI women's program, you guys were amazing. There was that stretch of time where, top 5 rankings, going to nationals. I remember often you guys would be in the playoffs, and it was all these military schools and then Northern Iowa. And it was really cool to see that, you guys weren't a varsity program, but you were going toe to toe with varsity programs. And the way it was run was like a varsity program. I mean, we would look across the field, and here we are, the UNI guys practicing, and we're just doing what we did. We're trying to kick a drop goal, and if we made it, we went to the bar. And here you guys are running a varsity practice. And I know too, when the UNI men, we didn't have a coach, I came back and helped out. And I know Steve was always there, because I had no clue what I was doing. I was like 22, 23, just thrown into this role. And he was always there looking to try to make rugby a better experience for everyone. So I think he's had a lot of impact on the people he worked with. And you can see that in the game, as like this generation of players is now growing up and taking these roles. And so that's really cool. And yeah, you're playing at such a high level, and then in the Twin Cities, and then coming back and giving back. It's, I don't know, that's always great when, people come back and coach, and, you have a good experience, and you try to give the kids the same thing you had. And so what would you say right now? It's been crazy getting the kids back with all the return to play protocols. UNI has some exciting things probably coming up. We don't know yet. What's that look like when there's nothing on the schedule? How do you keep your team ready to go, motivated? What does that look like?
It's challenging. I do have to give credit to my veterans on the team. The season before COVID, we made it to Sweet 16, and that was the first year that a lot of those girls made postseason, and so they got to experience, running out of the tunnel and the national anthem, and then being announced on the field. And that, from like the second we got home from that tournament, the girls were like, "We want this," which is cool, because that used to be our standard. Back in the day when I played, like, we're not getting anything below Sweet 16. That's just how it is. So from then on, they worked their butts off. We had a good team, and then COVID hit. So, but the leaders, they want to do anything and everything to just stay as a team and stay connected. And they're really good friends off the field, which helps. So we participated in the virtual season this past fall. NCR put on this virtual season, which was crazy. It's a lot of work, a lot of hard work, but the girls did it. We ended up getting 3rd out of all the teams that participated, which was cool. which also motivated them to continue to hit the gym and lift and do skills with each other, just to hang out with each other, and then pull people from campus and be like, hey, we're actually doing stuff. Like, we're a club and an organization on campus that is able to do things. Join us. Let's have fun, like run around. A lot of clubs aren't doing anything. So yeah, they just kept pushing, hoping that they'd have a chance to play this spring. And luckily we have, and we've played for 3 weeks now, have had 3 weeks of games. And we have regionals next week in Wayne, which we have a good team going into it. We're very confident. And then potentially New Orleans, the national championship in May. So we have our bid in, and I think they posted us on the website, so we should be good on that.
Okay. I didn't want to be the one to say something. As I was leading into that, I'm like, I need to stop.
Yeah, it's on their website, and it went on this morning publicly. So Perfect. They haven't made their fun, cool announcements on social media with the graphics, but we're listed as going. So
we could say we're breaking news right now. So that'll probably be the tagline for this. Breaking news. Watch this. You'll find out.
Yeah.
But no, that's awesome. And we'll be watching for that. And it's exciting. And I think, like you said, your team's really got an advantage going into this, because, some people, this is going to be their first experience back. And you guys have been putting in the work. You've been, especially as a team, I think a lot of us here would say a lot of teams, they play so well on the field and have that continuity because they're friends off the field. And that's such a tough thing for some teams to build at all levels. And so that's great to hear UNI has that. And I mean, obviously we're all pulling for UNI since a lot of us went there. So it's always good to hear. And then I was going to say too, might be a little controversial question here. So I was reading on Twitter the other day, someone said, a hot take on club rugby in the United States. They said, club rugby is not a serious outlet or a serious pathway to higher level rugby. Just saying it's just fun, people drink. What would you say to that someone looks at American, and they say in the United States, American rugby at the club level in college is not serious or a high performance pathway? And I think this is a good question for you, just because you've seen the Midwest Thunderbirds, you've played with some great players. Maybe it's a lot different for women than it is men. What would you say to that for the women's programs?
Definitely false. I mean, you can use our team as an example. We've produced a lot of Eagles from our team throughout the years, from the 2001 team and up. So had 3 women participate in World Cups. At one point, I was at an All-American camp with 8 other of my teammates. And my senior year is when teams slowly started becoming varsity. I think there's 3 that were actual varsity programs. But what people don't understand, and I've had this conversation with the university, people at the university, is we play varsity teams. We're not just playing all other clubs. We've played varsity teams at the national championships, and we've won and we beat them. So I think there's a lot of misconception there with club rugby. And what's cool with the rugby world is it's small enough to where if you're good, someone's going to see you and watch you. Or your coach is going to be connected to someone in the higher level pathway. I've got connections. I know other people that have got connections. So it's definitely a pathway. And Iowa Select Size in the LU tournament, that's a pathway to the national team. Midwest is a pathway to the national team. Obviously, a one big goal is to get rugby be varsity across the board. And then, we don't have these issues really. Mm-hmm. But definitely, I'd say that's a false statement. That's not a pathway to be club.
Yeah, I saw that. It was some guy from Texas, because I was trying to do some research for this Pick'em challenge, and someone shared what's your hot take that makes most people mad? And I saw that and instantly okay, maybe what we were doing at UNI for the men's side, we weren't sending people to any. I mean, we had a lot of fun, and I would never trade it. But looking over at the women's side, I know you guys had a lot of success. And so kind of changing gears now, like from a coach's perspective and looking into Iowa is unique in a sense of we have a high school sevens program that has a select side that's done really well, high school girls at Lakefront. They've won it 5 years in a row. Just kind of wondering, two-part question here. One, how has that impacted, like, are you seeing those kids join your program, join Iowa, join the teams that you've placed? Like the overall play, has that gone up? And then secondly, what would you tell high school, like yourself in high school, if you could go back and there was like a rugby program around the area, what would you tell yourself, or how would you convince a kid like, hey, there's some big opportunities, you should give rugby a try? What would you say to that high school kid or yourself when you were that age?
Yeah, definitely. For the first part of the question, Kelsey McDowell has done phenomenal in growing the high school level, especially with the girls and the Hawkettes. Like, there's been more teams popping up every year, more athletes, and the athletes are good. They're good rugby players. And, they're making high school All-Americans, and they're being seen by multiple colleges across the United States. We're not just some little flyover state with rugby anymore. So that definitely has helped when we get these players into our collegiate programs. It definitely helps boost our standard because they come in at a different level, knowing basic skills, which all of you guys know here, when you join rugby, half the time you're teaching the new thing to college kids because they never played before. So having freshmen being able to have that experience and know the basic fundamentals and skills just helps create that team culture of being able to do more of the advanced things and practices early on in the season. So it's definitely made a huge impact, and there's so much growth currently happening and so much talent in the state. I've been at all the games so far of this high school season every Friday, watching and recruiting, and I love what I see. I'm excited, so excited. The second part of the question, what I would tell myself. I think a lot of players get nervous and scared going from high school to college. And it is a big step and a big difference. But I would tell them is to at least just try it, like push yourself. When you go to college, being able to know you're going to be part of a team and organization right away just gives you kind of that comfort to help you get started in your college career. Because being a freshman, regardless if you're playing a sport or doing anything, it's scary. It's a different time in your life. Like, you're living on your own, you're in charge of yourself. Like, you don't really know what's going on. So to be able to be a part of the team, to have people help you along your journey and along your way and guide you, like, it's a huge, huge advantage to enjoying your college experience right away. And then also, like, man, if I could go back to my younger self and be like, listen, this is what you're going to experience. You're going to travel across the United States. You're going to travel across seas. You're going to play rugby in all these cool places. You're going to play rugby in the mountains in Alaska. Like, just go. You only live once. You're only young once. Enjoy it. Just enjoy playing and becoming a part of a second family, because rugby is family. Like, the rugby world is so different. It's so hard to explain to people that aren't in it, but
Right. It's like, and when you do try to explain it to someone, they look at you, or when you have a wedding and half the people in the reception are from a rugby team and all your work friends are looking at you like, wow, you weren't lying when you said that's how they acted. Like, they don't get it, and then they see it in person, and it's one of those things too where you never expect that, like, when you play in college, that's like you're going to be friends with these people and networking with them. A lot of the sponsorships we have for the Wombats, it's through, actually 100% of them are through rugby connections.
Yeah.
And then knowing all of these guys, they help you down the road in life, and it's just so cool that you can just mention it, and you can have hours of stories, and just you feel like that person just based off that connection. And it's so inclusive, and you just like to see that and hear people share their stories. So yeah, yeah, if you could just, I always think of that too. Like, if you could just tell your freshman self, like, hey, go to everything because it's going to be a blast, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's important because I know coaching at UNI when I was there for a couple of years, the thing that frustrated me the most was we'd get these kids who played high school sevens. They'd come in and they would just be like, yeah, I want to play, but I only play sevens and I'm just trying to figure out this college thing. And I'm like, oh, but like if you just were with the team, you'll figure out college way sooner because 30 guys will help you navigate campus. Like they
Yeah.
got your back. And I get it. They got to find that out on their own. And eventually they do. But I'm like, oh, you missed a whole semester or a whole first year. Like there's so many great things. But
Yeah. And I mean, I have 2 girls that are getting internships just because of a rugby connection. And half the girls I played with, they're in their current careers because of rugby, some way, somehow. So,
yep. That's awesome. That's
mhm.
awesome. So yeah, so those are all the questions I have for you. Guys, sorry, I always do this. I always hog the whole first part. You guys, I'll open it up. You guys got any questions?
Maybe
Let's
this
see.
overlaps. Maybe this overlaps a little bit with Ryan's question, but what do you think was, being the Iowa Rugby Union president? What do you think the most difficult part was now that we're kind of coming out of COVID and getting everything organized that way? I mean, what would you say were some of the more difficult things trying to get all of that organized? Our first season out of COVID.
Yeah, I know. What a great time to be president.
Yeah, right.
A lot of navigating parts, and I think the most challenging is that no one still really has any idea how it's going to work. Like even the Midwest level and USA Rugby level, and like talking with all those guys, it's just everyone's like, I don't want to be in charge of it. Like I don't want to be in charge, whatever. So just making sure every team is on top of their game when it comes to protocols and all that. And I know it can be so like tedious and annoying, but having open communication, like with me and the teams, like I want everyone to be able to approach me and not be afraid to approach me. And if you're confused by something, like just ask and we'll work it out together. And we might be doing something wrong and not realize it and fix it later. So as long as people, we've done a really good job, honestly. I'm really, really excited and pumped for all the teams that have been cooperating and communicating and being patient with me and the rest of the board as we get something new thrown at us every week. So that's another challenging part too. It's like not consistent with guidelines and protocols. And it's like, I'll tell you guys one thing and then the next day, like, oh, it changes again. Like my bad. But yeah, navigating has been challenging, but we'll get through it as a union.
I feel like you got to commend yourself and everyone else part of it because it's got to be difficult because I myself, even this weekend, you hear about different rules, things come up and I was like, why are we doing this? I'm sure you have so much pushback on different things, but it's like, I feel like that'd be really difficult. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive that you guys are able to organize all this. And I feel like you guys are doing a pretty good job with all of it. So.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely don't envy your email inbox that you probably have. Like just I can't even imagine. So I won't. And I'm glad you're doing it. And yeah, like Marcus said, you're doing a great job and you've helped us out a ton to go from not knowing what to do at all to playing our first match a week ago. So
yeah, it's awesome. I love watching you guys grow and what you're doing, killing it. So keep doing it.
Yeah. And then Nico, sorry, we have another guest on the show.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you, what's your favorite rugby memory?
I was just gonna ask that.
Favorite rugby memory. I love playing in Alaska, like just the scenery and like being in the mountains was so cool. I had a moment of like, whoa. But I would have to say though, my favorite rugby memory is my freshman year. We made it to the Midwest Final Four and we played Grand Valley and the winner of that game went on to Sweet 16. And by that time, it was like the program had made it to Sweet 16 like 9 years in a row, and there's a lot of pressure, and we were all like newbies that year with a couple seniors. In the score, we were down 6-8, and there was no time left on the clock. And we're on the opposite end of the field, and the opposite try, and the serve was like, next dead ball, it's game. And we just kept inch by inch down the field, down the field, down the field. We got just past the 40, like on our side, and got a penalty. And we went to quick tap, but Steve was like, do not quick tap. We're kicking a penalty kick. And it was all on the side, like it's probably within the 15 of the line out. And just, I would say like 38 meters out from it. And Jackie Berkovici went up there. Everyone's like kind of crying, like I don't know, this is an impossible kick. Grand Valley had 5th-year seniors that stayed just to go to Sweet 16 that year. And now there's like some USA players from that team, but it felt like it took 10 minutes, but Jackie Berkovici went up there, kicked it, and the initial kick was just like a straight bullet, and everyone was like, oh, dang it. And even the Grand Valley girls like started to put their hands in the air, like they won. At the last second, the ball just lifted over the posts, and we scored, or she made the kick, and we just dogpiled on each other in the middle of the field. Like the coolest experience ever. I'll never forget it. And we went to Sweet 16 and did well. But yeah, that moment of like, this is sweet. Like this team is cool. This is why I play, was probably my favorite memory.
It's awesome.
That's awesome. That's what it feels like at the beginning of practice when we kick for posts, and if it goes in, we go straight to the bar. Probably the same. I mean, they're probably the same level of. No. I remember being at UNI at those years, and yeah, it was always kind of funny because you know how I remember we would like sometimes practice with each other, like just kind of compare and just kind of, you know, oh yeah, well, you know, we're so good, and it was like, no, you guys were really good, like just like, but there was a reason. There was a much more regimented practice schedule than that was awesome to watch you guys do that, and it makes sense how you guys had so many players go on to play at a high level, coach at a high level. It makes sense. A lot of good rugby people. So
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, Phil, did you have another question, or did Nico take yours?
Nico took my question, so I'm salty about it.
All right. Well, thank you, Megan. I appreciate you sharing your story. I know we could probably talk for hours on. You've been so many different hats in rugby, so many different things, and it's awesome. So thank you for sharing with us.
Yeah, of course.
We're gonna move into our pick'em challenge. And so looking at last week, wow, this was crazy. So we thought we had everything figured out. And like I said, I was doing some research online. Everybody thought like our guy, our guy John Cullen had the same picks as all, like everybody had the same thing. Everybody said Giltinis, NOLA, San Diego, Utah, and Atlanta. And my hand got tired. So it's just a big old loser across the bottom. And obviously the winner this week was me. And you guys all laughed at me because I picked the SaberCats. I told
you and I both went out on a limb, okay? I think it was either you or me. We're going down.
I know, and I almost picked Toronto too, which would have made us all lose. So
I know.
Oh man, what a match too. So first off, that first match, Nico. Quick recap: LA and Toronto. What happened?
Yeah, LA is coming off of a bye. Toronto off of a big win over Old Glory. It was pretty close to start, really sloppy play. And then Toronto had a yellow card and it really opened up the scoring for LA. Who knew that they could score a lot, right? 21 unanswered points. Toronto, let's see, trying to skip through here. Toronto 0 points after being in LA's territory for 10 minutes. Teams traded tries after that. LA scores in the final minutes, and I mean, it was just 43-16. It ended up being a killer for LA. LA has bonus points in every single one of their matches, which puts them at the top of the table for both sides, but in the West, and Toronto drops down to 5th. LA really looking like a front runner here.
Do you know how many points LA is averaging a week?
I don't have that, but I can figure it out.
Gotta be at least in the upper 40s.
Yeah.
Right. It's insane how many points those guys put up.
Yeah. Wasn't this their closest game? And it was like
Yeah.
42 to 13 or something. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
43 to 16. Yeah.
I think they're the favorite right now for the Wombats. I think a few of us might have bought T-shirts.
I bought a singlet.
They're easily swayed, but those jerseys though, those black ones with the pink and the white and the blue that Marcus is wearing, they got a good color scheme. I like it. I mean, it's not as good as like a teal that fades into black with the yellow color, but you know.
It's a close second.
Yeah.
Did I just spoil the jersey reveal?
Whoa.
And then moving into the next match, NOLA. We're big fans of NOLA. We know Austin is good. Justin, what was the story in that match?
You know, NOLA could just kind of got away from their quick ball out of the breakdowns, and Austin was able to slow them down a little bit. Who'd have thunk Austin beats NOLA, but they did a good job slowing the ball down and controlling the pace of the game, and that's really what did it for them. NOLA's got to get back to quick ball in the coming weeks if they want to win again. But ultimately, I think Austin did a great job.
Yeah, definitely. And then moving into San Diego at Houston, you know, I'll take this one, guys. You guys are just idiots. 34-32, you know, it was a close match, back and forth match. They really did. I mean, they didn't score 2 weeks in a row, shut out, come out, put up 34 points. Just a real team effort there, and they just look like a completely different team. The talk is that Houston has a lot of ballers on their team, a lot of great players, but they just haven't come together yet. And I think this is the Houston that we saw week one. This is the Houston that people believe they can be if they play that unselfish rugby and they play as one on a defense. So enjoy your Thai chili peppers. This was the difference this week. Moving into the next match, we have Benson. What happened with Seattle and Utah?
Oh, I tell you what, Utah, just bad week for Utah. Tons of turnovers. The back line, you know, I feel like they got so used to having these big time breaks. They keep going for home runs, and it turned into turnovers. And it was not good. Their defense looked bad. It is just rough, you know, which is very uncharacteristic of Utah. Utah's looked so good. I feel like most of the season, at least consistent, like kind of steady eddies. They're doing good, but this is a bad day for them, especially with Seattle has had a rough start to the season. For Seattle to get the win and play like they are, it kind of gets you like, oh, maybe Seattle's throwing something together, you know, but I'm going to put it down to Utah just had a bad day.
Definitely. And I saw our guy, Johnny Utah. He was out there. He was at that game. So
was he?
I'm persecuting the wrong man.
Drove all the way there for that. And so, yeah.
How many of you folks believe?
Right. And then, D, you have the Atlanta match. Do you want to turn your TV down?
Yeah.
Yeah, your TV's real loud.
All right, I'm good.
What happened with New York and Atlanta?
Atlanta just doesn't know how to play rugby anymore. I mean, I feel like every time I pick Atlanta, they just shit the bed. So
no, they hit the New York boys. They're coming off strong. I tell you what, New York's looking good. I'm on the New York train. I made a mistake by going against my boys, and I won't make it again. I tell you that.
I'm just done picking Atlanta, I think, even though I think I picked them again this week.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes.
I have a funny story about you
I blame
the
Phil,
Atlanta
though.
game.
I blame Phil.
It is mostly Phil's fault.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Phil,
you didn't pick Atlanta. I did.
And so, Phil, overall thoughts of this week?
Terrible. Just all around awful. I'm very disappointed, not only in myself, but just in rugby in general.
This league, right when you
It's
think
bad.
after 3 weeks you get them figured out, boom, this week happens and we're all wrong again.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of parity
Everything
in this.
I knew about Major League Rugby was wrong.
The only thing that we knew was that LA was good.
Yeah.
LA was good. Yeah, we got that one right.
Hey, by the
Not
way-
all of us did.
By the way, averaging 47 points a game. So
Yeah.
Wow.
go
Megan,
LA.
what do you think about all this? Did you watch any matches this last week?
I did not, but I just have to say, I'm kind of a little disappointed that, except for Ryan, didn't support your own little UNI alumni team.
Every time we do, we lose.
Have the faith, Mr. Paul Emmerich.
That's what I said. That's the reason I picked him. I said I was just going to will him to victory with my positive vibes. Go with the UNI boy, born in the woods.
Right.
But
I was
You guys-
ready to rename shutout Sabercats.
you went hard on them. I feel like they probably saw that, and that you've been blocked probably on all social media by the Sabercats for your
Yeah,
slander.
You've been like what do they call it? What's Nick Saban said, the rat bait. They've been posting it on the boards. They got Justin McKay's name with quotes about can't score. They've been looking at it all week, ready to go.
Like this scrub in Iowa says you can't play rugby.
He's actually from St. Louis. And then looking at our overall results, man, I really thought as an overall record, last week was going to bump us up as a group of guys over 500. But because of all of these losses, which I thought we were all going to be over 500, no, we are now overall 51 and 82.
That's terrible.
And it's because of this week. And when we look at the overall standings, I was the big winner. So it added $25 to my name, which put me at 1750 because I was at negative whatever it would have been. Yeah, so even though my record is worse than Phil's and Justin's, because I won this week, I jump up to second place. And yeah, that's kind of where we're sitting right now.
Who came up with this system? I think it's flawed.
Well, just pick better, Phil. I'm pretty sure you like
this week
system.
coming up here. We got 6 games again.
Yeah, that's gonna help.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so to take a little break from the action of MLR, I just want to remind everybody, our World Rugby Shop is open with all the finest Wombats gear. You can get a baseball tee. You can get some sweet Canterbury shorts with a nice little mesh pouch that stretches in the crotch area. You can get your fanny pack, a phone case. They even make phone cases for heathens that don't have iPhones. I think they have Android cases. It's gross, but they do it. You can get a backpack, a polo. I think there's socks. I mean, go nuts. So go to World Rugby Shop, check Wombats. You can get a blue shirt instead of a black shirt. Life is good. Megan, which one are you gonna get?
I'm gonna get the baseball tee actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look sick.
Good
I love
looking
them.
pair too, you guys. Good looking
Yeah.
crap.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man, whoever made that, she did a great job and we
Very
appreciate it.
Yeah.
My favorite part is that yellow stripe up top. I feel like that really gives it the professional look. Like a lot of major league clubs, they have that secondary color there. I love it.
Mhm.
So yeah, it looks good on everything.
Yeah. Looking out for you guys.
And so if anyone didn't catch the subtle hint, Megan made that for us. All right, so this week, the Wheel of Death, name pending. Again, if you want to sponsor this wheel, we have one already, but it's in the works. Here we go.
Better.
What's it going to be? What are we
I
doing?
think Phil's shaving his beard this week.
I'm ready to grow out my mustache.
Marcus, you look great with a mustache.
Oh,
Oh, cinnamon challenge.
Oh no.
It was
Why
the
is this-
cinnamon challenge.
Challenges.
Has anyone done this before? I've done it before. It's not fun. You've done it,
Yeah.
Megan?
I have. Yeah, it's
Oh.
awful.
I hate
Are we
cinnamon with a
We're
passion.
doing this outside, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
but you have to wear your nicest clothes.
Okay.
We still gotta do our
Sunday.
Thai chili
We're
challenge
still
though.
peppers.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do those back to back, and just so like
Might as well.
so people know, like Javier, just so you know, don't get mad at us. We did do the beer mile. We just got to put that footage on a flash drive and give it to our video editor guy. And then we have the chili one. We're gonna have all the challenges on YouTube. They may all bulk upload together. So don't get mad at us, Javier. Just remember this also slowed us down too. You know, we're working on it. So we'll get it.
Maybe this is a new idea here, but I assume at the end of the season we're going to put a compilation of all of the failed challenges together, right? This little remix of everything. So it's all going to come out eventually, right?
Oh yeah, we have it. It's just you know we're just saving some content. You know,
We got to give
maybe
the people what they want, you know? I think people are just here for the failures, right? They're not here to see us succeed.
we're
And
just
a little
here
bit
for
of we're building a little anticipation too.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So moving into week 5. Flan, I hope you like the picture I chose. It was one of the first ones that
So good.
it was the first one that like popped up.
Rugby face.
All right. So we have 6 matches this week. And looking forward, the first one, we got 5 on Saturday. So Justin, first one, we got Seattle at Toronto. Oh, and the one thing I really like about this week, no 2 people have the same picks. So
Oh, that's weird.
so we
That's
could
cool.
have just 2 losers for once. Like we've rarely had that. What it was supposed to be, we could have definitive 2 losers. So it's going to be interesting this week. No idea what's going to happen. So Justin, Seattle at Toronto. What's that? Why are we picking Toronto?
I think Toronto's been pretty solid or consistent rather. And Seattle's just been super inconsistent. Basically, I'm just going with my gut on this one, and I think that Toronto's going to pull ahead. I think it's going to be a small margin of victory, but I think they're going to pull it out.
I'm with you on that. I feel like Toronto's waking up at the right time. I know Marcus is thinking the same thing. You're on the same boat.
Yep.
And then moving into the next match, we have New England at NOLA. So Flan, why NOLA?
Yes, one of my old teammates in Amazons, Nikki, her brother, Kavika, plays for NOLA. So an old friend, love him. He played for Metro up in Minneapolis. And yeah, I got picked for NOLA, so I gotta support him.
Nice, awesome. Always love having the connection to the team. That's what's really cool about this league too, is just, I mean, Nico knows more people in MLR than any of us combined, but it's cool because it's cool because in this league, you know, and because that rugby community is so close knit, that we do, you do know people. You have run into people on the field or in coaching, just whatever. Like you run into these guys, and that's what makes it so cool and just so personal and approachable. And so makes it easy, especially when there's no Midwest teams. Makes it easy to root for these teams because you know the people. So that's awesome. And NOLA's always been kind of a favorite of ours, but it looks like, a couple guys you're turning away from NOLA. Nico, Marcus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bad move.
I think it was a couple weeks ago that Nico was the only one that had the Free Jacks winning, and I think he was right on it.
Yeah.
So now I'm on that Free Jacks train, and I just, yeah, I don't know. Got to switch it up a little bit. I don't want to be the same as everyone else. I knew everyone else was going to do NOLA.
Speaking of supporting people, Free Jacks have one of the Southeast Polk products, Dion Mike sells. So, support my guy for my alumnus.
He's
Wait.
overseas.
He's in France.
Who's playing here?
No, he's not.
He's in France.
Oh, well, he was playing for them.
Got.
I love getting got.
He's in lockdown right now in France. I talked to Joe White, one of the Southeast Folk coaches. He said he just talked to him, and he literally is just stuck in his apartment right now in France and can't like do anything. So
Should be playing for the Free Jacks.
Probably wouldn't be locked in France.
And then moving into the next match, Utah against San Diego. Marcus with San Diego. What's the story?
Oh, but boy, I tell you what, a lot of my picks this week were think of what you want the team. I'm pretty low on the bottom of the record. Me and D are rounding out the bottom. And I decided I'm going to start going opposite of what I think is conventional. And Utah had a bad week last week. I don't know if they're going to bounce back. I think that San Diego losing to Houston, who hadn't scored yet. Houston, I think was a little flash in the pan. They got a little something going. I don't think they're going to be able to contain it. San Diego still hasn't put it together, but I think they're going to be able to. I think they're going to be able to capitalize it. You're going to see that film from last week of Utah, and I think they're going to put it all together. I think they're going to put one up on Utah. It's going to be a close game. I'm telling you, it's going to be a close game, but
Phil,
I think they got it.
What'd you
Phil?
say, Greg?
Why do you disagree with him?
Well, I mean, it's hard not to go with Utah. I mean, obviously a pretty good side. I always hate when you give me Utah though, because I know if Johnny Utah see this, I'm gonna get a lot of criticism. but no, I mean, obviously Utah's a pretty good squad. They had a pretty close match this past week, and obviously had like a lot of mistakes and stuff, and that's not typical Utah. I think they're probably pretty upset about the loss. They're gonna turn around and bounce back, and plus San Diego's got a lot of injuries, and they still have been having a hard time playing together as a team. They got a lot of ballers on their team, but they just, are having a hard time being in unison. So, and Utah obviously is a little bit better at that, in my opinion. So I think Utah's going to pull away with the win.
And I think you're right, Phil. And with the injuries, the thing that sorry to keep adding on to this, taking more time, but I think those injuries for San Diego is only going to help them. I think they have this culture issue. Getting some fresh guys in there, I think it's really going to turn around. Maybe they're going to start playing as a team a little bit better. They need some switches because it's been rough.
Are you trying to give me the kiss of death now, Marcus?
I'm trying to return the favor. I'm trying to return the favor, Phil.
And then moving into the next match, we have LA at the SaberCats. And so with this match, again, I love the SaberCats, love what they're doing. I always like to talk about they've got a great system down there, a great program. They have a nice youth program. They're building a great rugby culture down there. They had a rough couple weeks ago. I know they won this last week close, but LA is a juggernaut. And I hate to say it, but so I'm just prefacing this. Love the SaberCats. I think this match is going to be the biggest blowout we've seen of the year. I think LA is they're hot, and I think they're going to stay hot, and I think they're just going to just have fun and play their style of rugby and run up the score, and they can't be stopped. And I don't know. I'm sorry to say it, but God, LA is good. That's really it. So then moving into the next match, I mean, did anyone else have anything to add to that one?
I'm just going to say, if Paul's watching, I got your back, Paul. And I chose.
We love Paul. We love Paul. I'm just saying, it's just.
I know.
Oh, man, LA. We forgot about, or I guess I forgot about LA week one. We totally skipped their match. And yeah, Nico remembered, but I forgot to put it in. And just, it's crazy to be a brand new expansion team and to just be this good this early. It's impressive. But like I said, I love what the SaberCats are doing. Just it's not going to be there this week. Then moving into the next game, we have Atlanta at at Austin. And so, D, you have Atlanta for this one. Here's the funny story. When you sent me the picks, you said Toronto, NOLA, Utah, LA, New York. You didn't pick a winner. So I just put Atlanta because I know you love them.
I just like losing, so it's okay. I'll take them.
So why are they gonna win?
They're probably not going to win, to be honest. And I'm going to be doing a cinnamon challenge, so yippee yippee yay!
All
I gotta
right.
Austin's
keep
looking
this.
good lately.
I gotta
think
keep.
Austin is getting it together, right? And Atlanta, they are good, but yeah, I think I'm also trying to pick Packies. Who's got the best Packies? Because I think
I
those
gotta-
explosive plays, yeah.
I got to keep this losing record going strong.
Yeah, I like Austin's pack. They're
I've done the
fun.
challenge every week so far, so I might as well just keep doing them.
Keep it going.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah. Feel my pain.
Mhm.
And then lastly, we have Nico with Old Glory against Marcus's favorite New York. Why is Old Glory gonna win?
I just wanted to go against Marcus. He's he loves those New York boys, and I just think Old Glory might take it to him. They had a real good game against NOLA. We'll see.
And then that's the only match on Sunday, and that's at 1:30. So I'm guessing if you want to go watch that at Powys, 1:30 on Sunday, I'm sure Marcus will be there wearing a New York hat, and I'll be holding a New York pennant and waving it around.
Uh-huh.
And Nico will be there.
New York is the Big Ten of the MLR. They're just like the ground and pound. Nothing exciting, but they're just hitting it every time, and I love it. They're my boys.
That's because they play in the cold.
Right? It is. They're tougher. Unless it's like us Iowa folk, we're tougher because we have to go through winters, summers, that we get all of it,
Yeah, we'll see.
And then another match recap. We had our first match this past Saturday. We went to Cedar Rapids. We brought about 30 guys with us, and it was a nice little friendly. We ended up scoring 31-22. We had 5 tries, 3 conversions to 4 tries and 1 conversion. It was awesome. It was a great day of rugby. Like I said, we made a mass substitution at halftime, made sure everybody played. A lot of guys got their first ever match in their life. A lot of guys played for the first time in over 2 years. I mean, we had guys who haven't played in 10 years. We may want to check the record on this one, Nico, but we may have the oldest, newest player of all time playing his first match ever. How old's your dad?
He is 57. He'll be turning 50.
Wow.
Wait, your dad played?
Yeah.
Is this him right here?
That's a long time coming, right? That's got to be a long time coming.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh.
He was on the sideline, and everybody on the sideline was like, "Put Rick in, put Rick in." And
Yeah,
I mean,
Marcus, sorry, we have a new fan favorite.
I wonder how many father-son combos there are out there. I mean, I don't know how old Joe's son is. He's got to be getting close to men's league.
He's getting
probably in
close.
college.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
if
playing for the Cats though.
he is awesome.
Yeah.
But like that's got to be the only father-son combo I've ever heard of. Not that I know anything about rugby or club rugby, but that's the only one I know. Most impressive for sure.
I didn't think it would take 10 years to get him on the field, but here we are.
When I went to go put him in, and the crowd's just yelling for him, like, "All right, you're going in for this guy." He turns to me and looks at me and goes, "I don't know what I'm doing." And I'm like, "You've been watching Nico play rugby for a decade. You know what you're doing. Stop it. Get out there." Like, and he got in.
I go. I said, flank. How about that?
Got in on his first tackle. No, but that was awesome. And like I said, it was cool to get back on the field again. Good to see everyone. It was just a really happy, fun day. Thank you again to Cedar Rapids for hosting us. Great social, great group of guys there. And yeah, hats off to those guys too, because they're building something pretty special there as well. A lot of positive pieces, a lot of young guys, a lot of people on the sideline cheering. It was just, for it being cold and rainy, I mean, it was a great day of rugby, a lot of friendship, a lot of happy stuff. So yeah, anybody else have anything to add to that? Because just wanted to throw that in there. Did you have fun, Phil?
Oh, I had a blast. I wasn't even 100% sure if I was going to get to play or not. And yeah, everything was fine. I felt good. I was happy.
Those select side jerseys really soaked up that rain. That was great.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they were kind of warm though.
Ryan,
Yeah,
props to you. Yeah, Ryan, props to you. On the way up, I kept telling myself, I was riding up with my brother Isaac, and at the beginning of the season, I wrote out a contract saying that I will not play in wet games. and once you posted on the way up, you said, first game of our organization, this is history, and I was like, God damn it, now Ryan, I gotta play. I can't not play.
Why don't
I
you
had a
like
blast.
why don't you like wet conditions?
Because the first muddy game I played in, so I played all D2 with Bremer. My first D3 game, we played Des Moines, and I snapped my leg in the first 5 minutes.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
I get that. I understand now.
Yeah. But
That
we
was-
overcame our fears, and we had a great time.
Here you go.
And like no one even got that hurt.
Yeah, I hurt Ryan. Maybe I'm just a bad luck charm when it's wet.
Oh, yeah, this is prime.
Yeah, so with that too, it was right before they scored. So it was like probably 10 minutes into the match. They scored their first try. Marcus and I had a 2-man tackle. And as Marcus is on the left, I'm on the right, we wrap up. My hand's coming in around right into Marcus's forehead. My thumb jams back into my hand. Big old mark on Marcus's head. You might even be able to see it on there. I like how you're throwing the W up, but yeah, there's a mark.
And
Yeah, he had a pretty good knot on his head.
Yeah. Well, with the red mark too, I think Ryan made a joke, and it's probably pretty accurate. I think I could have unlocked your phone if I put it up against my head. Your thumbprint was locked into my forehead for a while.
Oh, for sure. And then, I mean, if I'm going to show this, I stole this from Sam from Facebook. This is a pretty cool phase. Here's Ridgeway.
aw, Ridgeway.
Oh. And then
Fast-forwarded.
look at that calf muscle. Dang.
Ooh.
And then, oh man. Well, they're fly half. Mike, that was fun. I ran him over. Love you, Mike. Well, again, we had some laughs. We had some fun. Thank you, Flan, for joining us. Again, we appreciate everything you do for Iowa Rugby, from coaching, helping out, getting those high school kids up to the college level, coaching at college, and then helping everybody in the seniors division, and then also, playing when you can. It's awesome, everything you do for rugby, for everybody. So we appreciate everything you do. We appreciate you coming on and sharing just a tiny bit of your story, because we know, you've been a lot of places, done a lot of things. So again, thank you for joining us. Is there anything you want to, like, final thought or anything else you want to promote to anyone, anything, UNI, anything coming up?
Yeah, first, thank you again for having me. Honestly, this is actually my first podcast I've ever been on. So thanks, guys. Always good. I love the support for you guys. I think the teams are seeing this of, overlapping support from team to team, and that's what our union needs. Senior sides, get to high school games, go watch, support, like, start growing your teams. Same with collegiate sides. High school girls, get to the Hawkettes tryouts. Collegiate girls, any U24 girls actually that are watching, we have our second select side tryout this Sunday in Appleton, at noon in Appleton at the middle school. So we have some stuff scheduled for the Iowa select sides for women to keep the program alive, and then that can turn into Midwest. So kind of all the announcements I have. Quick shout out, 2 shout outs quick. Tiffany Fahey, she played USA Rugby, also helps coach New York MLR. So props to her. And then your guys' new best friend, John, I know his wife and went to high school with Hannah. So
She's
small
really
world.
cool.
Yeah.
Small world.
No
Yeah.
way. That's actually how we like met him, was because at the bar she was wearing his jersey, and actually we talked to her before him because
Nice.
it was like Phil goes, "Oh, do you know someone?" And she's like, "Yeah, my husband, this guy."
This is always kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh man, small world. That's awesome.
Right? I know, yeah. So, but yeah, again, thanks guys. I love what you're doing. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you. And
Thank you,
then
Megan.
next match, not this weekend, but next weekend we are on the road to River City. That's Mason City on the 24th. Again, we should have a good group of guys, big numbers heading up there. We're gonna work it out with them to get that extra third half as well. So we're gonna bring up as many guys as we can. And then after that, we're going to have our first home match 2 weeks later against Bremer. A bunch of friends coming down. Social afterwards at Pally's. It'll be a fun night. We're hoping to really pack the Recplex. We got to find a cool hashtag for that. But yeah, that's pretty much the big things on the way. Nico, what last thought that you have?
Go LA.
Marcus, final thought?
No, I'm just now we got our first game out of the way. I'm excited to keep going. It's cool that we have so many guys involved, and thank you again, Megan. This is awesome. It's cool getting people from different aspects of rugby, and it's especially cool having you. That the head honcho for Iowa rugby. It's pretty sweet.
Thanks.
And I'm gonna say one thing too, Marcus. I've been thinking this the whole time. I just want to say I love your outfit. You look like a stereotypical character in a movie that's supposed to be a Midwesterner. Like you got your International Harvester shirt and hat, like you just got off the combine.
Hey, corn-fed Iowa boy. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've been thinking it the whole time. Like when the people who made the movie Twister were thinking of their main characters, they pictured you.
When they get the remake going back around, sign me up. I'll put in the casting reel for that.
Oh, sorry. I had to say it. You look great. Your smile is great. Keep it up.
Thanks.
Phil, speaking of looking great, Justin, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
And then Phil, final thought. Oh
Not
my
really.
God.
Just go Wombats, baby. Go Wombats. That's it.
I'm gonna have to write out homework for you guys. Like, hey, think of one clever thing to say.
That would help. That wasn't on the run sheet.
Yeah. Well,
This is like our ninth one. D.
Go Hotlanta.
Awesome. And then I don't know if you guys can tell. Can you hear the music? The music that's playing us out here. It's a good song, isn't it? You hear
I
it?
love it. It's so good.
Yeah,
I put it in post, so you can't hear it. But yeah, so Megan, the way we end it, you get to take us home. Final word, final thought. Send us home.
All right. Just cheers to Iowa Rugby and all the talent that's in here and being put on the rugby map, because we have some awesome things in this state and we're paving the way for youth through senior sides. So look out, world. We're coming.
growing gold.
Love it. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.